I don't know where she found the strength to deal with all the stuff she was dealing with, but can Netflix throw that in a bottle real quick and sell it? Because I need it. What's good, Silver Squad? RJ here from the Silver Site, and today I'm here to review the Netflix original film, All Together Now, which stars Auli E. Cravalho, Justina Machado, and Renzi Feliz. It's directed by Brett Haley, who's also responsible for Heartbeats Out Loud as well as The Hero. Correction, Hearts Beat Out Loud. All Together Now is about an optimistic teenager in high school named Amber Appleton who has musical aspirations, and she's learning to accept help from her friends in order to overcome her hardships in her personal life and, reach her dreams. Before I get started, I just wanted to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of our videos and shenanigans. Alright, so that's out the way, now let's get to the movie. Now, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I have to admit I was really intrigued. The concept of a homeless teenager to me was something that I personally have not seen before. I'm pretty sure movies like this exist. If you know of any, drop them down in the comments so I can watch it, because I really was intrigued by the trailer. The concept of a homeless teenager following her musical aspirations to me was something different. Not the musical aspirations part, but like I said, the homeless part. And it really drew me in. We don't really get to see this too often, and it made me reflect and, to my high school years, and I'm trying to think back. I don't recall anyone that I know of being homeless, but I'm pretty sure at least one person, that I went to school with probably was homeless, and I just wasn't aware of it. So it kind of really made me sit back and reflect on my high school years and just really think, well, damn, did I know someone was homeless and I was just unaware? Did I know someone who was homeless and I was unaware that they were? It really made me think. So it just kind of really brought me back, and I really was looking forward to seeing this movie. And I have to say, this movie did not disappoint me. Too many times we see a trope-ridden, predictable teen drama story, and we know how it's going to start, we know what's going to happen in the middle, we know how it's going to end. But I like the fact that this movie doesn't do that. I like the fact that they focus on the hardships and her musical aspirations are secondary, because at the end of the day, after you finish singing your song, you're still going to go back to your problems. And I want to say, too many times we get these singing or dancing movies where the singing and the dancing is the solution to the problem, and to me that's not realistic. So I like the fact that they kept this character in this movie grounded in realism, that yes, while you do have your aspirations, which we do encourage you to follow, at the same time, after you finish that song, after you've left rehearsal, like, what is your life like outside of the song? And I like the fact that we got to focus on that. I like the fact that we did get a little bit of, romance, friendship building, and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, the true focus of this movie was her hardships, and that was the heart. It is the main reason why I did enjoy this movie. And everybody who knows me knows I'm not a drama kind of person as far as movies go. I love sci-fi, I love fantasy, but this to me was the kind of movie that... You probably wonder how I got here, right? Well, I said something stupid, so now I have to do a voiceover to fix what I said. What I meant to say was, this was the kind of movie that I don't normally watch, so therefore my expectations for this movie, they weren't really high. But although I was intrigued by the trailer, I was intrigued by the premise of the movie, I didn't go into this expecting what I got. So therefore, this movie exceeded my expectations. That's what I meant to say. All right, hit play. Expectations, and it did. I didn't get to the end of the movie disappointed. Another thing that made this movie enjoyable to watch was the performances. I felt like Auli was the perfect choice to be cast as the lead role. Her facial expressions, her tone, her delivery of her lines, and you got to give it to some of the script. You have to give it to the script and the dialogue. But her performance in this is what really drew me in. I was really able to connect with her character, not just based off what she was going through, what was written, but the way it came across on screen was a big part of why I enjoyed this movie. And we can't talk about Auli without discussing her voice. I can't say enough about her voice. All I'll say is I hope she never stops singing. She has an amazing voice. I love watching her perform live. She's clearly talented. There's not much more I can say about that, but please never stop singing. A lot of times films will just try to check these boxes just to say, oh, we had romance, we had singing, we had a final performance, we had this, we had that. And they check these boxes for the sake of having these boxes checked. And this film doesn't do that. And that's something that I love. The film just ignores that. The film just focuses on what it needs to focus on, and everything else comes secondary. And that's something that I truly enjoyed about this movie, and that's what pulled me in. We didn't get lost in her aspirations. We didn't get lost in her dreams. It was what it was. And I appreciate that. I love the fact that this movie doesn't get lost in the music. It doesn't get lost in her musical aspirations. It doesn't get lost in romance. What this movie does is focuses on the narrative that she's dealing with some truly, truly heavy things. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of movies just will use the music or use the romance as an escape or the solution. And then the world that she's living in is not, because in the world we're living in, we can, put your headphones on all day and listen to your favorite artists over and over and over. But when you take those headphones off, and when you come out of that, or when you turn that game off, or when you leave that, dance studio, or the club, or wherever you're heading out, wherever young whippersnappers go these days, whenever you leave that, your problems are still here. And that's one problem that I have with a lot of these dance movies or these singing movies or the musicals, is that dance and music is the solution when it's not. It's just an escape. And I like the fact that this movie does that, and it does it so well. For lack of a better word, the only critique I have about this film is I wish we would have gotten a little more information on whether or not her friends knew about her living situation, because it seemed like either they just didn't care or they knew that she didn't want the help. I don't know if they were ever made aware of it at all, because I really didn't see too much interaction between her and the characters. That's the only thing I have to say about the film. So if you have time this weekend, go ahead and check it out. It's now streaming on Netflix platform. Those are my thoughts on a Netflix original film all together now. Let me know what you thought about this video and the movie down below in the comment section. Later days.